Well, so I'm guessing that you probably searched for this question on internet about how to install Prestashop by using Docker containers. And for those who don't know, Prestashop is open source e-commerce platform, one of the best e-commerce platforms out there. Believe me, I'm working with e-commerce platforms in the past few months, and the Prestashop has the cleanest database structure compared to other e-commerce platforms. That's why I decided to show you how you can easily, quickly set up and install Prestashop with Docker containers. Okay, so let's start. As you see, I created excuse me, I created Docker Compose file in here. Let us start by creating. Start by defining the version. I'm going to use 3.9. Then let's define our first service, which is going to represent our database. The database is going to be MySQL. Oops, what is that? We don't need that one. You know, before recording this video, I was preparing the links. So this is our not our MySQL official image. We're going to pull this image in a moment, and also we will use the latest version, which is 8. So let's type image MySQL, and the version is 8. Okay, and define the container name. I will give it Prestashop and db. Then well, let me write first, and then I will explain. Command. It's going to be default authentication plugin MySQL native password. So this one basically here means that MySQL needs a password hashing algorithm. And at this point we don't need any hashing algorithms. That's why we are going to choose MySQL native password, and this command will be fired when our MySQL service will be up. MySQL actually, when Docker container starts, I'm not going to explain it in a complicated way. When this container is starting, this command will be fired. I see that I made some typo here, and also I think I accidentally deleted the image name. So MySQL, image container name command, and then let's define the environment variables. Environment variables will be MySQL database, which is going to be our database name. I will call it Prestashop. And MySQL root password is going to be Prestashop as well. So this environment variable right here is setting up a password for root user. Okay, so username is going to be root and password is going to be Prestashop. Alright, then let me define ports. MySQL runs on default port, which is 3306. This is for our local machine, this is for container, and of course we have to define the network, since Prestashop will ask at certain point, the Prestashop will ask us to approve the connection between database. That's why we need to define network to allow services to communicate with each other through the network. So Prestashop. The network name is also going to be Prestashop. Okay. So second, we have to define our main service, which is Prestashop. This is all video is about, and we will pull it from Prestashop image Prestashop, And also we have a few versions here. This is very old versions, but this one is, as you see, it's new, and the latest one is 1.7. So let's use the latest one, 1.7, and the container name is going to be Prestashop. Like here, like that. Then let's define environment variables. Why not copy pasting this? Okay, then we are not going to lose it any time. So for environment variables, we only need DB server, which is basically database server, and our database server will run under the service MySQL, which means we have to define our service name that represents our database server. Okay, so in this case it's MySQL right here. Okay, the port is going to be 880, and it will point 80 in Docker container. Networks will remain same, and lastly let's define our networks here. Network Prestashop. Okay, so that's it. That's all of it. Let's now run it by typing docker compose op in detach mode. Run. What it's saying, I think we have some network does not match any of the regexes. Oh, I see. It should be networks in plural, not in singular. Let's run it again. What's going on? Networks. My mistake. Sorry, guys. Hopefully this time will work. Yeah, it started pulling images from MySQL, and then it will start for doing same thing for Prestashop. So it feels like it will take forever. That's why I will speed up this part of the video, and I will see you in a moment. Guys, I have another optional information in here, just in case if you need. You can add another service here. This is optional, it's totally up to you, but I highly recommend to define phpMyAdmin service as well, since where you can see all these tables, you can execute some SQL queries. Well, you know what, actually, if you are searching for this topic, you're probably familiar with all this stuff. Just in case I'm giving some additional information here. Okay, so if you want to inspect all these tables, see the structure, you can set up phpMyAdmin. Let me type it here, phpMyAdmin image docker. You can pull this image from here, phpMyAdmin, and then you can go, you have to define port, I think 123, the port is going to be, oh no, this port is already allocated by our Prestashop service, so just change this with 1235. Yeah, the port is going to be 1235. Define this not this one. Define PMA root password, something like that. I can't see it right now. Yeah, the configuration is very simple. I don't want to waste any time in here. Anyway, this is optional. In case you want, you can take a look to this documentation and set up easily. Let's see if it's finished. Yeah, it's finished. That's good. Let's now navigate to localhost 8080. As you noticed, I'm speaking very slowly because as you can't see time actually. It's midnight. Everyone is sleeping, that's why I'm talking very slow right now. So this is the installation assistant popped up in here, which means Prestashop is the container is working. And let me just quickly finish all these setup stuff here because I have to show you a very important thing. Last name, password. Yeah, this is the main point. Well, in here we have to define, you see, database server address, and our database server runs on the MySQL service. Service, this is two different things. Um, so if we want to define our database server, we have to write MySQL. Oops, not in capital letter, MySQL, like that. Okay, this is our service naming compose file. So the beginners makes a mistake here by writing localhost like that, but in fact you have to write MySQL, the service name. Okay, so next database name is Prestashop. Here, Prestashop, the database login root. Since we defined MySQL root password, the username is going to be root and password is going to be Prestashop. So I will just copy and paste it in here. Test your database connection now and hopefully it will connect. Yeah, it's connected. That's a good sign. And then click next. So let us finish, and not us, let Prestashop finish the installation. It's downloading demo products, creating database tables and all this stuff. So I will see you in a second, okay? Alright guys, it seems the installation is finished. Let's now navigate to, let's go to storefront, actually. Manage your store, discover your store. Let's go to front office. Well, it seems everything is working. That's our Prestashop, and as you can see, it's already installed some demo products for us. And as I said, you can go and set up PHPMyAdmin, and you can analyze all these tables in Prestashop database. Okay, so that was it for this episode. Please, if you enjoyed, please subscribe and hit the like button. From this moment, I'm planning to fill this channel with some quality content as much as I can. It's not going to be only such tutorials. Actually, the word tutorial, I don't like that word, because tutorial is really different from real world applications. I'm sharing real experience with you guys. What I'm learning from the real world applications. I'm coming here and explaining everything to you. That's how it works. So that's why this is the main difference of this channel from the others. So please subscribe and I will see you in the next video.